Well, welcome in, beautiful people of YouTube. I hope wherever you're tuning in, you've had a good start of your week. Hopefully, all of your Dynasty teams, unless you're intentionally rebuilding, you're in the playoffs. Feel really good about the year I've had in Dynasty. I'll show you guys here in a second. But obviously, if you guys didn't get a chance to see, today is the first day that I released any content on the 2026 rookie class. I guess like after scouting it, I've talked about it in the offseason. But this is the first day where I've actually gone out and released some rankings. And the reason I wait so long to do something like that is because I am spending so many months of, scouting in the background. So when I do release content for you guys, I have a good conviction and understanding of the players that I'm talking about. But if you are just joining us, that video is out. My 2026 Dynasty rookie running back rankings is out on the channel. I personally believe, and I'd love to hear the chat's opinion. We'll talk a lot about rookies today. I personally believe that this running back class, there is more room for difference of opinion than there probably ever has been. I think the top is very clear. And then I think there are 10 names. Well, I would say 6 to 7 names that you could put at 2. I really, really believe that. But definitely make sure that you go check that out. Also, on the Flock site for all of our members with code LAND, I did go ahead and put out my database as well as the Lemons to Lemonade report. If you guys don't know what the Lemons to Lemonade report is, I actually break it down in this database so you guys can fully understand what that number looks like and what metrics are kind of blended in to come to that number. I haven't had all 22 yet for Terrion Stewart. He leads everyone in this class in Lemons to Lemonade. In fact, his numbers are like historic. I really want to watch this guy play. I need some film first, but a 0.49 yards per carry or missed tackles forced per attempt. I'm sorry. I don't think most people understand like how historic that number is. I really want to see what's behind that film, but 0.49 yards per carry. Guys, last year we had a historic missed tackles forced per attempt rate. That was from Ashton Genty. His number was 0.4. I mean, even Cam Scatterbill we were obsessed with. I believe his number was, off the top of my head, I think it was like a 0.36 or something, right? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I don't know what they're feeding them boys at Virginia Tech, but both of their running backs stand atop the missed tackles, the Lemons Lemonade team, the Lemons Lemonade number. So, would love for you guys to go watch that. Give me your opinions, give me your feedback. It's always fun when we start to dive into a brand new class. But we are going to jump into a Dynasty startup today. We're going to do it on the Flock site. I'll tell you why. Because I went to set up a mock draft on Sleeper, and their settings are cooked right now, okay? Like, I've done everything I can to fix the ADP, but no matter what I select here, it has all these random names at the top. So not only is Sleeper or the Flock site a better way to actually determine ADP and like accurate rankings of where we stand in Dynasty, but it's a better experience for everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys the giveaway code here in a second, but I'd love for you guys to come join me in this draft. I just want you guys to know, you can create a completely free account on the Flock site if you want to get into one of these mock drafts with me. You do not have to sign up for an account, like a paid account, right? So I'll put that link in the chat if you guys want to come join me, but I am going to do a Dynasty startup draft and request timestamp out of acceptable range. Please sync your system time. Okay, let's see what this is asking me to do. Apologies. Okay, is that gonna work now? We're gonna figure this out. Maybe we will do it on Sleeper. But I appreciate y'all big time for being here with us, and I apologize for this little hitch we're trying to get through. Here's what I'll say. I am going to do a giveaway for a team playbook today. In fact, quite a few of you have a team playbook waiting to be done. I'm going to do some of those today, but we're also going to give one of these away to one of you guys here in the YouTube chat. So all you need to do to enter is type playbook and like the stream. Those are the two simple steps. Very, very simple. Again, like the stream, type playbook, and you'll be good to go. So you can enter that giveaway right now, should you choose to. I'm just going to try and get these settings through. Let's see. Are we going to be able to create? Okay, we're going to use Sleeper. We are going to use Sleeper. And you guys are going to have to be on your P's and Q's for this mock draft because Sleeper's ADP is all out of whack. But it's the best we're going to get for right now. Let's see. Okay. All right. So if you want to join today's mock draft, I'm going to go ahead and put this straight into the YouTube chat. So anybody from YouTube can join. Okay. Let me pick a spot here. All right. So I'm going to pick the 3 spot and I'll send that link in the chat right now. I'm going to make the timer 1.5 minutes just because you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's in this startup. Someone tell me how to fix the ADP. I don't know how to fix the ADP. It does not seem to fix itself. No, no matter what, it has Will Levis at the top of the ADP there. But anyway, this will be interesting. Who knows ball draft. That's the way I'm gonna look at it. But I appreciate y'all being here. Let's get on the same page. Superflex PPR 0.5 tight end premium. There is a 3rd round reversal. So let's go ahead and start the draft here in 3, 2, 1. And you can draft rookies if you want. Just draft a kicker, and that will be the 101, the 102, etc. Right? Okay, well, it is a Superflex startup draft. I just want to clarify that. But I guess JSN going at the 101, I guess it's not crazy anymore, is it? I don't know. Okay. After Josh Allen comes off the board, plenty of options, that you'd have here. I definitely think quarterback is the best available. And I'm going to refer to my rankings here. It's weird, is it weird to say I don't know how much confidence I have taking Lamar Jackson right now? He's looked so bad in the last 3 weeks. But it's silly. It's Dynasty. We shouldn't be panicking on him. I just think I'm probably going Drake May here or Jaden Daniels at this point. I don't know that Lamar Jackson is someone we should panic on. Definitely not what I'm saying. But I don't think he's locked and loaded as that 102, 103 at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna grab Drake May. Lamar has definitely struggled a little bit in recent weeks. He's not been himself, that's for damn sure. You look at his career averages. This is one of his worst. This is his worst year since he was a rookie, since 2018. He's not running as much. You have to wonder if he is dealing with, that injury is still hampering him a little bit more. But when you look at the rushing side of things here on the right side, I mean, let's have a look at this. We're looking at a guy that has put up over 50 rushing yards once the entire year. This is not the same Lamar Jackson right now. He has 1 rushing touchdown. I can't help but believe that there is some injury going on that is more serious than they're letting us to believe at this very moment. Okay, so after I take JSN, we do have Josh Allen, Drake May, Jamar Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nacua, and Justin Jefferson coming off the board. Just want to remind everyone, this is a Superflex startup, but I'm not saying anybody's making the wrong picks. Just want to, throw a friendly reminder out there. Okay, is anybody listening? Anyone out there listening? This is a Superflex startup draft. Knock, knock. Look, I love Devon Achane. I'm not sure you're taking him ahead of Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. I don't know. Again, appreciate all of y'all for being here with us. What's up, Styles? What's up, Scribbles? Tyler. We've got Ravers, Blackhawk, the Andrew, Jeremy, talking about Will Levis. Styles says, yeah, sleeper ADP doesn't really adjust until redraft season, to be honest. Mills says, stoked for the mock. What's up, man? What's up, Bubba? What's up, Mike? Appreciate all of y'all being here with us and showing some love. Lamar Jackson at the 109 and Jaden Daniels at the 110. I think some of you have lost your minds. All right, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I love y'all, okay? I love that we all have different opinions. But I think some of y'all might have lost y'all minds. That's honestly how I feel. Some of y'all might have lost your mind. Okay? After Jaden Daniels, we do get Bijan Robinson off the board. I just need to ask our devs why I can't start a draft. I just want to figure out why that might be. But Bijan at the 111. So this is wild. I haven't been in a startup like this maybe ever for Superflex. We have 4 quarterbacks in round 1 so far. 4 quarterbacks. Okay, CeeDee Lamb. So this is the first startup draft I have done for Superflex, I think, in the last like 4 years, where we've only had 4 quarterbacks go in round 1. There are more receivers in round 1 than there are quarterbacks. Wild. Absolutely wild. Mahomes at the 202. To be fair to JMO, I do like that start there. The Mahomes Bijan start. That's nice. I think S. Rowland got an absolute gift here at the 110 getting Jaden Daniels. What's funny is I feel like Daniels is going to come back for this playoff stretch when they play the Cowboys. Who all is it? They play the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles. He's going to put up 20 points in like all of those games. Could have a 30 bomb in some of those games. And everybody's going to look back and be like, oh, okay, so yeah, maybe we shouldn't have overthought Jaden Daniels. Rashee Rice coming off the board at the 203. One of our favorite buys this offseason. I know the comment section was fighting with me saying, you were supposed to buy him last offseason. I was like, guys, I'm telling you, there's a discount. Take the injury discount. He's been awesome, man. He's been so good. I just traded for him in my home Superflex league. I'll show you guys a trade that went down. This is not a Dynasty league, by the way, this trade that you're about to see. But I went out and I traded CMC, Lamb, Purdy, Henderson. I got back Stafford, Brees, Bijan, and Rice. Remember, this is a Superflex league. This is not Dynasty. Now, the reason I did that is because the guy I need to win this week to get into the playoffs, and the guy that I'm trading with is who I'm playing. So I'm giving him CMC on a bye. I'm giving him Purdy on a bye. I'm giving him Henderson on a bye. So when this trade happened, it pretty much guaranteed that I would make it into the playoffs. I need to win this week to get into the playoffs. So that's a big reason why I made the trade in the first place. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about Dynasty leagues and where we stand. Always want you guys to get a good insight about where I am in my leagues. Obviously, if I'm offering you advice, I hope I'm doing well in my leagues. Dynasty is interesting, though, because sometimes you're purposely rebuilding, you know. Okay, so we get Rice, Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 204. Neighbors, Burrow, the 207, Trey McBride. And, yeah. I mean, none of this seems crazy to me as of right now, to be honest. Like, nothing I've seen, I'm like, wow, that's wild. You guys are crazy. All the top receivers are gone now. This is a weird spot. So we had Jefferson go. Jefferson at the 107 is bold, I think, at this point. Then we had Rice obviously go. Amon-Ra, Neighbors, London. Yeah, we're now at a lower level of... There's a teardrop at receiver here for sure. I'm not going to go tight end this early. There's a running back I could take. I personally believe Jackson Dart has to go here. That's what I'll do. I'll take Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart at the 210. So I start with a rookie and a second rounder, maybe the MVP this year. I don't know. We'll see. Between him and Matthew Stafford, it's close. And then we get Jonathan Taylor at the 212. That was the positional player I was thinking about taking, but obviously just couldn't pull the trigger there. Again, I appreciate y'all being here with me. We've got the startup that we're doing now, and then we will get to some playbooks. But if you want to win a playbook completely free, I am doing a giveaway on today's stream. It's very simple. All you have to do is like the stream and type playbook into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. Okay, that's as simple as it can possibly get. So if you want to be a part of that giveaway, definitely make sure that you enter now. We get the 101 coming off the board at the 301. And what I would love to do, because I just released my rookie running back rankings, I would love for you guys to just completely feel free to pick my brain. What do I mean by that? For the last multiple months, you guys have asked me my opinion on the rookie class, and I've told you, give me time. I need to scout. I don't want to say things that I don't have the knowledge of. I got no problem answering any questions about the rookie running back class. Okay, I'm now scouting the wide receivers, so I can't really talk about receivers yet. But if you have any questions about this rookie running back class, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation and talk about these names. This is one of those classes where if someone says, Zach, you're an idiot for having this player as RB2, I'll be like, okay, cool. That's fine, dude. I honestly think you could put 6 guys at RB2 in this class. That's totally fine. And it's not because I think they're all elite. I said this in the video. I think we are guaranteed to have one long-term starter at the running back spot in this class. But I think there's a max we could have 5 starters. I think the most likely outcome is 2 to 3. Obviously, people don't want to, you don't want to hear that, but I think it's important to be realistic when we're looking at, a class. I don't want to feed you BS just because I want content to go well, or I want to have fun talking about the class myself. No, I just want to be realistic with you. As of right now, there's one guaranteed starter in my mind. But beyond that, I have questions for sure. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay. As Egbuka comes off the board, we had the 101 and the 102. Personally, I'm thoroughly shocked that the 102 went ahead of some of these names like Genty, for example. If I had the 102, I'd send it away for Genty today in this class, but, Marion Hampton comes off the board. Yes, I do have Jeremiah Love locked in at RB1. I am a little bit concerned about the current consensus opinion on him, and how do I explain that? I think because this class is relatively underwhelming, I feel like some people, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, I feel like some people feel the need to over dramatize a prospect's abilities. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think most people are proposing Jeremiah Love as an Ashton Genty level prospect, a Gibbs, a Bijan, a Saquon, in the sense of oh yeah, he's a locked and loaded top 15 pick in the NFL draft. Where, if I'm being honest with you guys, there's just no way I would spend a top 20 pick on a running back in this class. I more view Jeremiah Love as being worthy of being a late first, early second rounder. I think he's a prospect you think about a Travis Etienne coming out, a Breece Hall, a Ken Walker, a Henderson, a Judkins. So I think he's a very good player. I think he starts for an NFL team day one, and he has that dual, aspect to his game, which could break fantasy football. I mean, don't forget, guys, just because I'm not convinced that an NFL team should take him top 10 doesn't mean I don't think he can be an incredibly good fantasy football player. Think about it. Breece Hall was drafted in the early second round, and all it took was a month in the season for him to be the RB1 overall consensus in Dynasty football. So don't, hear what I'm not saying is what I'm trying to explain here. I think he's a very good player. I just think sometimes we feel the need to over dramatize things for the sake of like feeling good about, the class. And the beautiful part about fantasy is, everybody can have a different opinion, and it's just as valuable, right? It's just as valuable in my opinion. All right, I'm going to grab Nico Collins here. I'll grab my first receiver at the 310. Yeah. Vitch says, I'd put my life Jeremiah going top 10 in the draft. I guess that's not what I'm trying to explain here, guys. I'm not arguing what his draft capital will be in the NFL draft. I'm arguing the level of prospect I believe that he is. I don't think he's a Saquon prospect. I don't think he is a Bijan prospect, a Gibbs prospect. Again, I'm not saying any NFL team would ever value my opinion. I'm just telling you, I personally would not, if I owned a franchise, take him as like a top 10, 15 pick. I don't think he's someone that's like, oh, now we drafted him and he's really going to be like the face of our franchise and change everything for us. But I'm back on the clock here, and that's perfect. I will go ahead and grab Garrett Wilson. We're going to... Garrett Wilson was drafted? Where did Garrett Wilson go? Oh, he went at the 311. Sorry. Okay. Well, that makes things a little bit more difficult. I am going to switch gears a little bit. Did we get Judkins off the board yet? We'll go Judkins. Okay, we'll grab Judkins here. Yeah. Vitch says, I guarantee we'll see him top 5 dynasty running back value before the season, just like we did with Hampton. Yeah, again, like, none of that is surprising to me. Like, yeah, none of that is surprising. I wasn't really of the belief that Hampton was going to go in the first round either, but that doesn't mean that I didn't think he had top 5 potential, right? Like he was my 102 when he got locked into the first round. Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins. I mean, these guys went in the early second round, and they're top 5 to 10 dynasty running backs. I mean, you go and you look at Breece Hall and Ken Walker's draft, right? They didn't have to go in the first round to end up top 5 running backs by mid dynasty season, right? I mean, Breece Hall was the RB1 by, October. And then when he went down with his injury as a rookie, you also had Ken Walker become the RB1 in dynasty football. So I don't really believe that there is, I don't think you have to go top 10 in the NFL draft to be, a really good prospect. I mean, he's great on the ground. He's great through the air. He's good through contact. But yeah, again, would love to have conversations on all of this. Sizzle says I sniped him on Nico. Sorry, man. I apologize. What's up, 123 says, got the 101 this year in another dynasty. Should I trade for Dart in a late 27 first or hold? Only have Purdy at quarterback and only have Achane at running back. Look, in my opinion, everybody can have a different opinion, but in my opinion, if Jeremiah Love ends up being the 101, and that's the very likely scenario here for dynasty rookie drafts, then I would have Dart ranked ahead of him in a super flex league when he enters the NFL. So to get Dart in a first, I'd love to hear the chat's opinion on that trade, but I'd pretty easily go Dart in the first, personally, in a super flex league. Yep, it's great to talk about rookies, that's for sure. You're capping so hard. You had Hampton at the 102 before the NFL draft and said because he was a running back likely going in the first. Am I not communicating myself well? I'm so confused what the miscommunication is here. I feel like you just proved my point. I said I put him at the 102 because he was likely going in the first. I don't understand what. I don't understand what the miscommunication is here. Scribble says, can someone explain the gap between Egbuka and Rome in this mock? Both are going through very similar lulls right now, yet one is valued way higher than the other. Yeah, well, I think what's happening right now is Rome Odunze, his faults right now have been much more highlighted than Egbuka's, right? Like Egbuka, falling off a little bit in recent weeks hasn't really been as highlighted as Rome. Like Rome has had games where he's completely destroyed you, but there's been like certain excuses that people have used for Egbuka. So overall, like what I'm trying to say is like I agree with you. I agree with you that Egbuka and Rome probably shouldn't be that far off. I think the reason that there probably is so much more confidence in Egbuka is because the future feels so easy to project with him. What do I mean by that? Well, there's no Mike Evans beyond this year, at least no contract, right? He's talked about retiring in previous interviews. So there's a good chance that he won't be a part of the team long term. Obviously, Godwin is not the same player, right? He's a younger guy. So I think like projecting who's the alpha moving forward is a lot easier to do in Tampa Bay than it is in Chicago, in my opinion. I say that just because Loveland is going to be more and more involved. He's a legitimate, serious receiving threat. I said this before the draft. I'll say it again. You don't draft him to improve your run game. You draft him as a legitimate aerial threat. So he's going to get more involved. Luther Burden is a dude, I'm telling y'all. I know he hasn't had a chance to really shine yet, but he is a dude. So Rome's a great prospect. He has a lot of things he needs to improve on. The concern is more, in my opinion, I don't want to speak for anyone else in this draft who passed on Odunze. I think the concern is more in the sense of it's much easier to project the future for Egbuka than it is for Rome Odunze. So, yeah. Let's see. Trying to keep up with the chat. Rookie versus sophomore. Rome has more good weeks than Egbuka, honestly, as of late. I don't think so, man. Rome's been pretty bad. He's been pretty bad. As a Rome truther, he's been pretty bad. What do you think about Bo Jackson? Yeah, I don't have any opinion other than what the box score shows me. Like, I'm not able to watch all of college football that in depth, which is why I go through such a rigorous like scouting process when we're getting to like Dynasty rookie season, which is what I'm in the middle of now. But name sounds awesome. Like I want him to be really good. The name is really exciting. Dynasty dude says, what side would you all take? Lamar or Daniels in a late first? I think Daniels in a late first pretty easily, I would say. I think most of us would be on the same page there. Just want to go back to the Jeremiah Love thing. Like, what am I not communicating well? Maybe someone let me know, because obviously I might be thinking I'm communicating something one way and it's not coming off that way. Yeah. All right, Travis Hunter comes off the board at the 503. Honestly, I think you guys are doing pretty good for the fact that ADP is completely messed up in this one. I think you guys have put together some good teams. I still might have an issue with some of the picks in the first round, but since the first round, I think you guys have done a great job. We've got the 101, the 102, and the 103. I am surprised how high some of these rookie picks are going, but at the same time, I do understand it. Brian Thomas is getting harder and harder for me to have a backbone for. Maybe they're just slow rolling him back, but the fact that he was a wide receiver 3 before Parker went down this last week really had me a bit bamboozled, if I'm being honest with you all. Breece Hall at the 508. Christian McCaffrey at the 509. Okay. Has Chris Olave gone off the board yet? Oh, he did at the 505, damn. Maybe running back is the best available. James Cook went. Kyron Williams was not drafted yet. That's an option. Maybe I should think inside my head instead of saying things out loud. Ooh, I know. Ooh, never mind. I was going to draft Tyler Warren, but he's gone. All right, this is very difficult. Is T. Higgins gone? He's gone. Zach, wake up. I'm trying to converse with the chat and also do this, my bad. Well, I'm not excited about this pick at all, but I think the best available player in my rankings, you know what? This is where I think I do need to go rookie pick. Good thinking, Zach. Nobody I'm excited about. That gives me the 101, 2, 3, 4. That gives me the 106. At least you know with rookie draft picks, they're going to hold value over time. There was a name I was going to draft there, but I also asked myself, would I trade the 106 for this name? And the answer was no. Steeza says, maybe I heard you wrong about Hampton, but I appreciate you not bending over for love like some of the critics. Like, again, I want to clarify. I do think he's a really good player. I'm just not of the opinion that he is a Bijan Robinson level prospect. Like, if I was a scout and an NFL team, and I know I'm not, I know I'm just some guy on YouTube, there's no way I would suggest to draft him top 10 in the NFL draft. Just purely from, like, running back value, but it goes beyond that as well. Damn, I was going to pull up our rookie report and look at... won't let me pull it up. Let me see if I can find it on our system here, because I want to go back and look at my notes on Amarion Hampton, because obviously my opinion of him changed because draft capital is so important. We talk about historical hit rates all the time, and when after the combine, when he tested the way he did, I just felt this guy's definitely going in the first round. He's going to be the 102. Didn't mean that I was I never said he was an elite prospect or something, but okay. Devonta Smith was the name. So I'm going to grab Devonta Smith here at the 603, hoping that they move on from A.J. Brown, and he kind of steps into the gap as the wide receiver one there. Okay. I think I have the rookie report here. Let me pull it up. Let's go to running backs. So this is actually an awesome example of what I'm trying to convey right now. My prospect grades go from elite to gold to silver to bronze to bust. Okay, it's a 5-level tier based off of the grades that end up coming through the scouting process. Genty was an elite level prospect, as was Bijan Robinson. Just trying to think about recently, like Breece Hall was not an elite prospect. Ken Walker was not an elite prospect. But last year we had a lot of gold level prospects. Now that is still a very good player. I mean, that's instantly a running back that can catapult themselves to top 5 dynasty running back ranking status, right? Now, I mean, you can even see in the pro comps. I never said Amarion Hampton is Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, my ceiling comps for him was James Conner and Leonard Fournette, and that's I feel like you see that in his game. But of course, when he goes in the first round, we all know how much I talk about historical hit rates. That obviously matters, and I've just mentioned that Jeremiah Love is probably the 101 in this class. That doesn't mean that because he's the 101 in this class that he's a generational level prospect. Like, we can't just always have an elite level prospect at every position every year. But yeah, honestly, I feel really good about this list looking back on it. Obviously, we'll have the rookie report for all of y'all who are promo code LAND members, but it's going to take a little while for me to put it all together. Let me move this to the other screen. Apologies. All right, so after I take Devonta Smith, we get Jared Goff off the board as well as another rookie pick. So I took the 106. We now have the 107, 108, and 109 coming off the board there. As Josh Jacobs. Ooh, that's a nice pick. Okay. Vitch says, how valid are Domain's bakery scores? They got Love as the second best running back all time behind Bijan. You have to ask them. You know, I don't know the answer to that. From my understanding, and I'll just be honest, like I haven't really like dived into the bakery that much. I'm sure they haven't, you know, really dove into like the way I break down things as well. We all have different processes. Like that's completely fine. But I imagine it's more based off of like the analytics, statistics, production. I'm sure there's weighted conference information and dominator rating stuff in there. For the most part, I haven't seen a model include film. And I think that's where like a lot of times like the film and the spreadsheet people have differences of opinion. But that doesn't mean that what they have isn't valid. Like I don't know how to answer that question because I'm not the owner of it. I don't know the history of it. That's a question you can ask them. I'm sure they'd be open to answering that question, you know. But I have been in the process of building a model, but I want my model to be unique to my process. So that's probably not going to happen in 2026. It's a really big project. It'll probably happen more for the 2027 class. But I want my model to include my film grades as well as like some unbiased, unmovable, you know, figures as well. So, and anyway, that's something that I'm working towards. But yeah. He says, I don't disagree. Just surprising to see the vast range of opinions on Love. I think Love's a really good player. I really do. I just don't think everybody is Saquon Barkley. Everyone is Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's how I feel. Jacobs at the 606, Darnold at the 607, Loveland at the 608. One thing I will say is, how many of you guys have watched Jeremiah Love film? Just would love to hear you guys in the chat. How many... maybe you guys haven't watched any film, so maybe this is pointless to ask. I think the thing that was most concerning for me is just the amount of like completely wide open gaping holes that go for huge touchdowns. Like what I loved about Ginty is just like, I mean, the man is just constantly extending plays. Jeremiah Love does that. But I think there's a clear athletic advantage right now and a clear offensive line advantage as well. I mean, Jadarian Price is a really good player as well. So I don't want to like discredit what Jeremiah Love is doing, and he's in like a completely different stratosphere to Audric Estime. So like you could hear what I'm about to say and get really angry, but I just want you to understand the context behind what I'm saying. When Audric Estime was coming out, I was completely out on him in that class, and that brought a lot of you know, harsh feedback and like you know, people who didn't agree. They said, how can you look at the statistics? How can you look at the numbers? Clearly this guy is going to be a good player in the NFL and whatever. Now, his box score was incredible, and the analytics weren't as good as Love, obviously. But his box score was incredible, but the film was much more different. Where Love has a huge advantage there is his film is fantastic. His film is really, really good. However, there is still that element of how much of the offensive line is creating for you. I think that's why I really love our Lemons to Lemonade report that we do. It really allows players who are creating outside of their offensive line to really shine, which is why like Wayman Jordan, I feel like it shows up on film so much. When you watch Wayman Jordan, you're like, wow, this guy just creates and creates and creates. Love is also really good at that. I'm just saying, like, the offensive line is hard not to give credit to as well. That doesn't mean you can discredit Jeremiah Love at the same time. I think he's a good prospect. And look, this is my first wave. I'll continue watching. I'll continue taking feedback and listening to people's opinions. But I currently don't hold the belief that he is an elite generational level prospect. And if he is top 5 all time in some models, that's I'd love to hear, you know, more about that. But okay, so Darnold at the 607, Loveland, we get another rookie pick there. Daniel Jones, Cam Scattaboo. All right, I'm pretty sure FPF Flex has left the building, so we're gonna change that pick. I'm gonna give him someone else. Let's just give him like Jordan Addison, for example. Let's give him something better there. And then let's give him a running back. Let's see, who's the best available running back at this point? What do we think? Like Walker, maybe? Ken Walker? Let's give him Ken Walker. All right, let's keep the party rolling. No, this is a really cool part about Jeremiah Love. I mean, he's a super unique person. I don't know if he's... They never put a label on his condition. Yeah. From all my understanding of his background, his family never put a label on it, but clearly, you know, he's different and he approaches the game different, and he is definitely like locked in. You can tell that for sure. Zach, would you take Ginty over Bucky? Yeah, love Bucky. Obviously, y'all know that, but when you have a running back that's drafted top 10, it's really hard for that guy to fail in fantasy. Obviously, right now, Ashton Ginty's analytics don't look great, but the offensive line is terrible. It's funny, I think that we quickly forget like what Bijan did as a rookie, what Gibbs did as a rookie, and obviously they were splitting opportunities, so I think it's fair to mention that. But I mean, you look at like a Bijan Robinson in his rookie year, I think he was averaging what was like 14 and a half points. You know, Gibbs in his rookie year was averaging 16 points. He didn't have as much overall points as Bijan. But Ginty, I mean, he's definitely been disappointing from expectations, but we always have too high expectations. 14.8 points per game. I'm not at all surprised that it's not efficient. I mean, 3.5 yards per attempt. I think most running backs in that backfield are probably averaging 3. So yeah, while Gibbs was thriving off of efficiency and then he got more volume, I understand Ginty already has all the volume. You know, you would have to anticipate this being the worst version of the Pete Carroll Raiders that we'll probably see. You know. Okay, Zay Flowers comes off the board there. I think I'm going to change the clock to 60 seconds now. All right. I know it's hard, but I don't want this to go on. Anyway, we'd love to hear some different opinions about the rookie class in the chat. For sure. We've got Saquon in the 7th round. Saquon in the 7th round. Oh my gosh. Not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy, dude. Tucker Kraft in the 7th is cool. I like that. George Kittle after him. Luther Burden at the 702. Vitch says, planting my flag on Jonah Coleman going to Chicago and they ditch Swift. Coleman would be a really good fit in Chicago. Yeah. I can definitely see that. He's such an interesting player. Jameson's a good pick there. Burden already went. Burden went at the 702. Let's see. Did Javonte Williams get drafted yet? Okay, I'll grab Javonte Williams here. Obviously, if he signs in Dallas long term, it's a great pick. If he doesn't, then it's a terrible pick. What's crazy is, like, we forget how young the guy is. He's 25. I think he's like 1 year older than Harvey at this point, right? Yeah. Harvey's obviously an older rookie, though. Um, Domain said the other day that Barkley might be a buy in the offseason. Yeah, I'm going to need to think that situation through for sure. He was my biggest sell this last offseason. If you guys remember in our content, he was our biggest sell. But, yeah, I could definitely see him being a buy. Aiden says Love is going to be very depending on where he goes. He has an elite O-line in college and explosive through gaps. Won't be the same in the NFL. Yeah. Well, clearly, it would be silly of us to assume that landing spots don't matter, because there's a reason Ashton Genty is averaging 3.5 yards per carry, right? So I agree with that to an extent. But I do think he's a very good player. Like, there's plenty of things about his game that I really love. Okay. I had high expectations for this guy this year. And it started off really slow. The coaching staff is really slow rolling their rookies over there, aren't they? But I'm going to draft Jaden Higgins. Chase Brown is a much better pick. So congratulations. But I'll take Jaden Higgins off the board there. I do think he's someone that can really elevate over the next, 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Kyler to Las Vegas would be an awesome thing to see. I agree. I could see Javonte signing a cheaper deal in Dallas. Clearly he's been a great fit for them, but I think if Javonte goes in free agency, and again, this is what I'm trying to explain about this class. I after scouting this class, have more confidence to go out and buy the free agents in 2026 at the running back position than I had them before I scouted the class. What do I mean by that? Well, 2026 NFL free agents. Let's have a look at this together. This is what I'm trying to explain, because the free agent class for the running backs it's really solid this offseason. And I think a lot of teams are going to look to free agency to fill some of their needs. For example, you've got Etienne. What will Jacksonville do? You've got Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be a starter for someone. Rico Dowdle may or may not get a job as a starter. He'll be on a team, obviously. Breece Hall's a free agent. Ken Walker's a free agent. Dobbins is a free agent. Rachaad White, probably not going to start for an NFL team. Brian Robinson will be a free agent. Tyler Algier could start for a team. Keaton Mitchell's a nice player. Pacheco will be out there. I guess what I'm trying to explain is I think we could be in a position where, like, there's always phases of the cycle of an offseason for Dynasty, right? What happens right now is everyone's learning about the rookie class and they all get really excited and probably their expectations are too high. Then come around March, free agency hits. And all the places that we had lined up as dream landing spots, 70% of them are all destroyed because of free agency. And I have a feeling that we're going to be heading into the NFL draft saying, damn, like there was 9 teams that we thought really needed a running back and now there's 3, I just think there's a lot of good available talent in the free agent class. And I've said this before, I think there's really only one guaranteed starter in this rookie running back class this year. Chase Brown at the 804. Trevor Lawrence in the 8th round is stupid, by the way. Congratulations. That's ridiculous. Travis Etienne, we've got a rookie there. We got Michael Pittman. Can someone in the chat tell me who to pick for the 112 at the turn, please? I don't care who it is. Just throw out some names that you think are fair there. 123 says, my prediction is Surratt will be better than Omar Cooper. I haven't scouted those guys yet, but excited to do so. Scribble says, okay, I'm going to say it. Trevor's a top 12 quarterback in fantasy right now, and he's still on the board. Yeah, he definitely shouldn't have been on the board. I think that's more ADP than anything. All right. What does the chat think here? All right, we've got Monangai and Kyler. I think that's fair. Those are fair picks. Well, did Kyler... No, Kyler's still there. Kyler's there, and Monangai is not a crazy pick here. We'll go Kyler and Monangai for the edge there. That makes sense. Again, appreciate y'all being here with us. I said this earlier. We are doing a giveaway for the playbook today. All you have to do to enter is like the stream and type playbook into the chat. Very, very simple. And I'm going to do that giveaway probably here pretty soon. So this is your last chance to really get in. 23 entries at the moment. Let's go ahead and make this the last round. Okay. All right, DK Metcalf, Bryce Young. How about Brycey? He's starting to... dare I say it's starting to click 1 week after he threw 2 interceptions? I don't know. There's something there. Something is starting to make sense, I think, for him. It's so exciting to watch as a Bryce Young truther. Something is... the atmosphere is changing. It's just we see stretches like this all the time, and just there's no consistency. They don't trust him to throw the ball, and I don't blame them. But the atmosphere feels different, doesn't it? All right. Who am I going to pick with my last selection? I have a couple names in mind. Trey Benson's a great pick, I think, there. I like that risk reward. Oh, I think I know who I'm going to pick. I know who I'm going to pick. Yep. I know who I'm going to pick. Yep. Michael Penix coming off the board there. I'm pretty confident what I'm going to pick people aren't going to be upset about, but YOLO. Sometimes you just got to stay true to yourself. Right, guys? Right, guys? All right. Oh, Mills. Damn it. Yeah, I like the pick. Obviously, there's plenty of risk baked in there, but that's where I was going to go. I need to switch things up now then. JJ McCarthy off the board. Harold Fannin was my next pick. Awesome. You guys want to take any more of the players I have in mind? Okay. I think this is a good place to take a shot on Slick Ricky. Someone took Pearsall? Yeah, they did, Zach, at the 8-10, you dumbass. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Wow, it's barren. This is disgusting, but I think I'm gonna take Xavier Worthy. Ugh, what a disappointment. Shout out to Team Rasheed Rice. Okay, that is it for today. I appreciate y'all. Honestly, the fact that you had no ADP to rely on, shout out to you guys, okay? Some of y'all were in your bags for sure. So, great job. All right, we are going to do this giveaway for the playbook. Again, last chance here to enter. All you had to do is like the stream and type playbook into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. Appreciate you guys big time for being here with us. Yeah, Fannin and McCarthy were who I was trying to draft with those last two picks. Adams is a great pick, for sure. if you're gonna compete, no doubt. No doubt, no doubt, for sure, for sure. All right, let's do this giveaway. And then after that, shout out to Nate and Gadgets. We got some playbooks we need to do here. I think those are our main ones for today. Okay, 29 entries. 29, 29, 29, 29. And we are spinning the wheel in 3, 2, 1. And our winner is The Shady Ocho. All you need to do, my friend, is DM me on Discord and tell me your Flock Fantasy username. If you don't have an account, obviously create one for free with the code LAND. You know the deal, but appreciate you, dude. All right, I am going to transition the stream into a couple team reviews. We don't have a big queue tonight, so obviously if you want to get a team review in, you want to get a playbook, you're more than welcome to join the queue. No pressure at all whatsoever. I got some scouting I need to get to, but appreciate y'all for being here with us. Let's jump to Nate NS Giant, who Nate took advantage of the BOGO offer last week that we had, so I'm going to give him a free team playbook voucher as well, because he took advantage of the BOGO. He says, thanks for the BOGO offer, guys. Love your content. 1 win away from playoffs. What should be the moves in the offseason? Can I trade May and go Dart quarterback 1 for 26 with the neighbor stash? I'll try and get an early first with my 2/3, like Ricky plus running back. Should I put Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and JT on the block? JT will never be higher. Yeah, JT's value won't ever be higher. You're right. People are getting really smart with that, though. I mean, that was my whole take with Saquon last year. So people are definitely, they're getting smarter with that kind of stuff. But looking at your roster, Nate, your league has a 10-team start 9, and it's 1 quarterback. So when we're looking at a 10-team start 9, that is our middle ground, okay? 3 flex spots, or you have 3 starting wide receivers, 2 flex spots. Either way, you have to start 9. So that does technically make Drake May or Jackson Dart movable. Not that you can't roster both of them, right? Right now, we've got Taylor, Amarion Judkins, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, Egbuka, Pearsall, Adams, Loveland, and you are ranked first in the league and you're 6 and 7. Isn't fantasy such a fickle thing? Isn't that funny how it works sometimes? That's classic. So 6 and 7. Are you going to make the playoffs? Let's have a look. You've got 2 8 and 5 teams, a 9 and 4 team. So that's 3 that are in ahead of you. And then after that, you've got 2 7 and 6, 3 7 and 6. So you need to win this week, and things need to go your way. Isn't that just fantasy at its peak, that a team that has May, Dart, Taylor, Hampton, Judkins, Warren, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, Egbuka, Pearsall, Adams might miss the playoffs? That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Well, you have no draft pick this year. So obviously thinking about where, you're still a buyer, in my opinion. So I'd put you at kind of like a right now. You know what? You're really asking me to do this review as if it's the off season. So let me pretend that it is the off season. You have your pick in 2027. But dude, looking at this team, why the hell would you not? Why would you not compete? Like, this is a contending team. This is a really, really good team. May, your starting lineup is May or Dart with Jonathan Taylor, Hampton, Amon-Ra, Neighbors, Loveland, and then you can start 3 more names between Judkins, Warren, Egbuka, Pearsall, Adams. This is a great team. I would say the site is accurately reflecting how good your team is. I think it's a B plus A minus. I lean A minus right now. It won't be an A minus if some of these guys fall off, like, Loveland doesn't develop how we want him to, or I don't know, but it's a very good team, I'd say, at this very moment. So congratulations on the team that you've built, man. draft capital grade, I would say A plus. Or, sorry. Overall, we're a contender. I'm just writing this down on the back end. Overall team grade as of today, A minus is what we said. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Big fan. Okay, so the questions that you had is, can I trade May and go Dart quarterback 1 for 2026 with the neighbor's stash? I'll try to get an early first with my 2/3, like Ricky and a running back. How would you get an early first with your thirds? You're saying like Ricky, Warren, and 2/3? I don't know how that would get you an earlier first, but that would be awesome if you could do that. Try to put JT and Amon-Ra on the block. Yeah, okay. So again, we're operating as if it's the offseason. Okay. And with that in mind, I'll just, going over to your chalkboard here, I'll just say that trade block players. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would say Drake May and Jackson Dart. I'd be willing to field offers on both of them and just see what sort of different structures you can get. Jalen Warren, Woody Marks. I love the guy, but I don't think he's a long-term starter. Warren, Marks, Adams. Warren, Marks, Adams, yeah. Yeah. So those are the players I would probably put on the trade block. With Jonathan Taylor, ideally you're going to like tier down from him, right? So names that come to mind for me, and we were doing this all last offseason with, the Saquons of the world as well. But if you can go from a Jonathan Taylor to, let's say, like a Travion Henderson in a first, I would do that same deal for a Judkins. I would do that for Bucky. I don't know. Some of these are possible. Some of these aren't. Obviously, it depends on how players in your league are being valued. I don't think James Cook is possible, but I would do for James Cook. For Breece, I would probably go Breece, but it would need to be 2 firsts, and then I would give a second back. So I do think that Breece is going to sign somewhere and be a starter. He's just too good. You could even go the RJ Harvey route and not give a first back, a second back at all, right? You could RJ Harvey, but you don't need to give a second back. There's already enough confusion with RJ's future there right now. I like those tear downs a lot if you can sort it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's a harder player to trade away from right now. Like, I don't think you can get Rice in something. I don't think you can get London in something. You could maybe get Egbuka first, T-Mac first. I don't know. It depends on like the league. But I would say, like, you don't really need to sell Amon-Ra. You can make this tear down with Jonathan Taylor and still go out there and be an incredibly competitive team. There's no reason why you have to move Amon-Ra is what I'm trying to explain. But yeah, there's too much risk outside of those names, I would say. For Drake May and Jackson Dart, again, I don't think you have to move them. But if there's a team that has a desperate need and you can take advantage of it, like, here's the problem. There's only 10 teams in your league. The worst quarterback room is Herbert and Stroud. That's still a very good quarterback room. Jalen Hurts is the 9th ranked quarterback room. So I actually don't think these quarterbacks really have any real value in a 1 quarterback league. Not to say that Dart and May aren't valuable. It's just like there's not as much trade leverage with those names. For Jalen Warren, I'd love to end up, getting a first out of that if you can attach Jalen Warren in your 2/3, or, Jalen Warren and Ricky Pearsall. Let's say for a first and a third or something. I'd also be willing to take 2 seconds. Woody Marks, I'd say an early second rounder is probably what you'd be looking at in return for him. And look, I will just say, like, some of these names I'm definitely on board, like the Taylor idea. Amon-Ra, I don't think you have to force it. I would like to sell Warren, but names like Marks and Devontae Adams and your quarterbacks, like, I don't think you really have to sell these names, because even when you tear down from Jonathan Taylor, you can go out and be a really competitive team next year. You're in your window. I don't think there's any reason to sacrifice that window. But again, that's just one man's opinion. That doesn't mean that my opinion is correct. That's just where I stand looking at your team. Draft capital grade is what I forgot to do. And yeah, I mean, I would probably put that draft capital grade at like a C+. You don't have your first this year, obviously. That's going to hurt. Let's go through the untouchables. Untouchables would be Malik Neighbors. It's funny because Taylor should technically be here, but I think it's just Neighbors right now. Everybody else is tradable for me. I would like to hold, unless you get an early first, like names like Woody Marks. Jonathan Brooks is a great hold. I feel like Parker Washington has proven he's worth a hold. And then Terrence Ferguson for sure. Easy drops. Tyrod Taylor. You don't need Tyrod Taylor. You probably only have him because of a bye week right now. Tyrod Taylor. I don't think there is another easy drop here, to be honest, man. Your waiver wire isn't really that interesting anyway. Yeah. Anyway, appreciate you, dude. Hopefully that's helpful. You will be getting your team playbook here within the next 48 hours. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, it'll have all the information that we talked about today. I gave you that BOGO offer, and appreciate you big time, my friend. Appreciate you big time. All right, we're going to jump into gadgets here. Gadgets is team review. Let me just clear out the letter grades and the pathways. But of course, if you guys are looking to get your Dynasty team reviewed, you want some advice, no pressure, obviously, but best way to get your team playbook, customized review of that Dynasty team you got, simply using the promo code LAND, all right, becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. And yeah, appreciate y'all. You can also get the team review if you're a member of a different promo code. You just got to buy it a la carte. All right, let's jump into gadgets here. And let me know if you're in the chat, gadgets or not. All right. Let's see. Gadget says, auction startup. Thought I was going to rebuild, but I found myself at 9-4 last week to trade. Should I say screw it and all in, or be smart and offload to other contenders? I know my points for are low, but I am second highest since week 6. Okay. 9-4. Yeah. Interesting. Your team name is I Like Tight Ends. So you're currently ranked 9th for me. Oh, Gadgets is here. What's up, man? What's up? So it's a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 9. That's the same exact format we just had, actually. So you guys are twinning right there. So another start 9. Okay. Nice, healthy starting lineup. Main path forward. Let's look at the team. You've got Darnold, Bryce Young, okay, Gibbs, and then a bunch of nobodies. You've got Rice, Higgins, Pierce, McBride. How the hell are you 9-4? Fantasy football is so funny, isn't it? How are you 9-4? I mean, you didn't even have Rashee Rice for. How are you 9-4, dude? You didn't have Rashee Rice for 7 weeks. T. Higgins was so bad at times. Kamara has been so bad. McBride is elite right now, but he was fine with Kyler. He wasn't. How in the world are you 9-4? Yeah, I'll be honest. I think you're a pretender. I was confused why you were 9-4 in so long, but I would be shocked. I mean, let's just think about your starting lineup. You're starting Sam Darnold, Gibbs, and then who? Stevenson? Then Rice and Higgins, McBride. That's all fine. Like, I still think the RB2 spot's really weak, but if you didn't have any flexes, that would be fine. But you have to start 3 more names. Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers. I mean, you could sneak into the playoffs. I don't know who that last name is. Tez Johnson, maybe, but looks like Mike Evans is back. Okay, my question to you, Gadgets. He says lowest points against, right? Do you have any... I don't know... How do I don't know how you don't make the playoffs. You're locked into the playoffs, right? Surely you've locked up a spot at this point. You've locked top 4. So you're going to be in the playoffs. Whose pick is that you have? What team's pick is that? Obi, Jean. You have Obi, Jean, Kenobi. He's 8-5. He's one of the better teams in the league. So it's not very valuable. You have your own pick, but your own pick isn't even going to be valuable. He says other contending teams don't look great either. Interesting. Look, here's my thoughts. I mean, you're already in the playoffs. I wouldn't sacrifice your future to win now, but the problem is, like, if we were in the offseason, I would tell you to be a pretty big seller. But we're not in the offseason. And if you're already locked into the playoffs, remember the ultimate goal in Dynasty is to win a championship. So even if you have a chance of that, it's hard for me to say, don't go pursue it. So I don't know what you're going to do at running back. I think what we can play around with, do you not have your first in 27? Okay, that might change things for me. League isn't the most active. Do you not have your first in 2027? Is that right? Because that will change things for me. He says, I just sold Bowers in a 27 first for Rice, Darnold, and a second. Oh. Bowers and a 27 first for Rice, Darnold, and a second. I don't know about that trade, man. I love Rashee Rice, but I would view Rice and Bowers pretty even as assets, and there's just no way I'm paying a first for Donald and a second. I think you're going to regret that. Look, we can't go back. You've kind of already made a move to be in here. You've kind of already made a move to be in by making that trade, to be honest. And is your draft order, rookie draft order, determined by standings or points for? Like, Yeah, I might be inclined to go in here. Okay. It's by max points. Okay. Okay, draft capital grade as of today. Well, you don't have your first in 27 anymore. That puts you into a contending window for next year. So you might as well buy contending pieces now, because you've already kind of put yourself into that box as a contender. You don't have your own first next year. Man, that's so frustrating because I feel like your team could really fall apart. But you've kind of committed. I think you need to go windows open here. Be smart with it. But I would say I would grade this team around a C+. So we are windows open. Overall team grade as of today, C+ is what I would say. Draft capital grade, C-, no first next year. Just really limits your flexibility. Your untouchables are obviously Jahmyr Gibbs and Rashee Rice now. Or Trey McBride as well. Holds, you probably need to hold, let's see. I think Bryce Young is worth holding based off the way he's playing right now. And we don't know how long Darnold is going to play at his level. Tez Johnson, obviously worth a hold as well. Drops, you can drop Jordan Whittington if you want to clear space. You don't have to. You can drop Ty Johnson. You can drop Terrell Jennings. Spencer Rattler. All these guys you could drop pretty easily. But is there anything interesting on your waiver wire? Yeah, not really. You must have really big rosters. Okay. He says it's funny. It's a funny roster to me with how things turned out. I showed it to Avery and he was dumbfounded. Right. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm shocked that you're 9-4. But it's too late now, but if you're ever on the fence with one of those trades with the calculator's not perfect, doesn't account for all context, but it does its best, better than any other calculator in the industry. You can always come to the stream and ask a question through the side or here if I'm available. But now that you've kind of decided to go in, I would. Okay, so it's by max points for. So what pick is less valuable between yours and the other guy's pick that you have? Which pick is less valuable, do you think? Which one can we sell and be more confident that it's going to get to the right person? Playoff teams are standings. Okay, so right. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. So both of your picks aren't going to be that valuable, basically. So let's just talk about a 2026 first, what we could send that for. And I guess we are going to be buyers, right? What you really need to do is I'd ideally like to buy 2 running backs. I think you have enough to flex. You're really going to need Gibbs and Rice and McBride to carry you, dude. But you can start Darnold, Gibbs. We need an RB2. Then Rice, Higgins, McBride. That's 6. Your 7 is Myers. Or Pierce. Your 8 is Myers. You need one more spot. If we buy an RB2, maybe Stevenson and Kamara between them when he's healthy can figure it out. Maybe Devon Bailey starts to turn into something. Okay, so Jacob's owner isn't responding. Let's look at teams that clearly would be sellers, right? So how about the Baca? He doesn't really have a running back that you'd be comfortable by. I mean, I think you're in a position where you could probably go send, for Monangai, you could probably go send your second's going to be late. So your 2026 second. Right? It's not it's more of a Band-Aid, but it's a young Band-Aid. I like that. The guy who's 4-9 has Jacobs, and this is what you were talking about here. Yeah, like I would love to send him a first and a. You're not going to get James Cook here, but I'd be curious if you could send 226 firsts for Jacobs and James Cook. Maybe you're going to have to send something else back, obviously. I mean, like, could you send back... Problem is you have nothing that interests other people in a trade. You know what I mean? Outside of your top names, what you need. Maybe you have to add a 2026 second onto that. I don't know. Like, see if that combo is even possible. But you said he's not replying, so that's probably not even going to be possible. And I might be off on the price anyway. It probably will cost more than that. 3-10 owner, no running backs worth noting. The 5-8 owner has no running backs they probably want to sell. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that sucks, man. All these teams that are bad don't have running backs that they're probably willing to sell. Chase Brown, I'd be willing to send two seconds for Chase. Right? I am not willing to send a first. But I'd be willing to send the 2 seconds for Mr. Chasey. Yeah. Okay. Wow, what a weird league. Oh my gosh. Here's what I would say as well. Like, if you can end up like landing a Breece Hall, again, going back to, I don't know if you were with us earlier, Gadgets, but I was talking about how much I like the free agent class this year for running backs and how I think they could be real values. If you can go get Etienne's interesting. I don't want to pay a first for Etienne, but if you could pay 2 seconds for him as well, like Chase Brown, I'd be willing to do that. But Breece Hall is really my ideal target here. RJ Harvey, that's an interesting one because at least you're taking a shot on the youth. If you can get Bucky for like a second and a first, that's obviously ideal. Might not be able to afford him, but obviously there's no harm in trying. Dude, what a weird league. Wow. This is one of the weirder leagues I've seen in a long time. What a strange league. I mean, shoot, you could send a first for Saquon. I think people are willing to sell Saquon right now, and I understand why, but you've kind of put yourself in that box where you got to compete. And then I think you're also a candidate to go out and send like a 2026 second for Devontae Adams. You know, these veterans. I don't think there's many other names that come to mind. So Adams I talked about. I don't mind the idea of like buying Luther Burden for a second if someone's willing to sell him for that. Jaden Higgins as well. Burden, Higgins. Yeah, let's go with those other names too. Anyway, I hope that's helpful, man. I'm here if you have any other questions that you want answered. What a unique league, man. He said auction did weird things. It wasn't a standard snake, which makes sense. I appreciate you big time. I'm going to wait, see if you got any questions, but you will get your playbook here within the next 48 hours. He says, for sure, I like your perspective. More just taking the shot in a weird league. Yeah, exactly. Like you already know your pick isn't going to be top 6 because you've made the playoffs on accident. So selling when you don't have your first and 27 feels counterintuitive to me anyway. Obviously, there's like a drastic route you could go there where you tear down from Jahmyr Gibbs, but I don't really want to do that. All right. I appreciate y'all big time. And I will be live tomorrow on the Redraft channel, Fantasyland Football. So I will catch you guys there if you'd love to come join me. But enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And go check out the rookie running back video that I just dropped. All right, love.